At the far edge of the Milky Way, where starlight thinned into darkness and cosmic dust painted the void in ghostly patterns, alien scouts drifted into the outer fringes of Earth's solar region. They moved with precision and arrogance, their massive warships gleaming under the faint glow of distant stars. They ignored the repeated warnings transmitted through encrypted channels, warnings sent by ancient interstellar councils and rogue intelligence agents who had observed the humans for centuries. They believed humans were primitive, unorganized, weak. In their overconfidence, they assumed that Earth could not possibly mount any meaningful resistance. Inside the deepest observatories on Earth, the first signals appeared. Scientists huddled over arrays of glowing screens, eyes wide as the patterns revealed the scouts' approach. Dr. Mira Solano, one of Earth's leading astrophysicists, stared at the readouts, her hands trembling. "They're moving faster than anything we've ever seen," she whispered. "And they don't seem cautious. They're coming right into the zone we've marked as restricted. They know nothing about the risks here." Across military command centers, alarms blared. The strategic importance of the outer region was clear. It was Earth's hidden defense perimeter, a space buffered by centuries of secret engineering, cloaked fleets, and experimental weaponry. Yet, the aliens advanced with reckless confidence, oblivious to the traps laid for intruders. Captain Elias Trent, commander of Earth's elite orbital defense fleet, watched the alien formations appear on long-range sensors. His eyes narrowed, jaw set in determination. "They think they can intimidate us," he said, voice calm but firm. "They think humans are weak. They do not know what waits for them. Humanity has prepared, and we will show them that arrogance is always punished." In the skies above Earth, the alien scouts' enormous warships cast long shadows over the planet's orbit. Satellites designed for surveillance detected their trajectory, and Earth's hidden orbital platforms, invisible to alien scanners, began to shift into battle positions. Humans had been watching quietly for decades, studying the alien species, predicting their movements, and preparing secret defenses. Every move of the intruders was anticipated. Dr. Solano turned to her team, urgency in her voice. "We have only a small window before they reach the inner perimeter. Prepare the sensor arrays, activate the stealth protocols, and alert the orbital fleets. They do not realize they have entered the forbidden region. And this region, it is alive." The forbidden region was not just a boundary. It was Earth's hidden sentinel, a space fortified with advanced cloaked fleets, gravitational traps, electromagnetic discharges, and fields designed to disorient and confuse intruders. Many had tried to enter before, all had failed. Yet the aliens moved with unshakable confidence, believing the humans would never dare confront them with tactics so unfamiliar. Captain Trent convened a fleet briefing, linking orbital stations and ground command centers in a secure network. "They are arrogant, yes," he said, pointing to holographic projections of the alien fleet. "But arrogance blinds. They do not understand the region, its dangers, or the humans who defend it. Our mission is clear. Observe, protect, and if necessary, destroy anything that threatens our home. Every ship, every crew member, every trap is part of the plan. Failure is not an option." The aliens did not know fear. Their protocols were built on calculated logic, brute force, and overwhelming numbers. Yet the sensors picked up the first anomalies: unexplained energy pulses, sudden spatial distortions, and shadows moving in patterns too deliberate to be natural. Human scouts had deployed invisible drones into the outer edge of the region, small, fast, and nearly impossible to detect. They transmitted continuous data back to Earth, revealing every maneuver the aliens made, allowing humans to adjust defenses in real time. Lieutenant Kira Voss, leader of one of Earth's elite strike squads, monitored the feed. Her jaw tightened as she noticed how confidently the alien scouts ignored the warnings. "They have no idea what waits for them," she said, voice barely above a whisper. "Every move they make, every formation they deploy, we've already accounted for. They are walking into a trap, and they won't even see it coming." Meanwhile, deep in alien command bridges, the officers laughed at human warnings. Overconfidence flowed through their ranks like electricity. "Primitive beings," said Commander Varkon. leader of the alien scouts, his voice cold and condescending. They issue threats they cannot enforce. Earth will bend to our might, as it always has been assumed it would. Prepare the fleets for approach. We will crush them before they even know we exist. Back on Earth, families, soldiers, and scientists alike waited tensely. The news had been kept secret from the public, but a sense of imminent danger hung in the air. The first whispers of panic arose, though most remained unaware of the scale of what was approaching. Across military stations, engineers and programmers worked tirelessly, activating cloaked orbital platforms, calibrating energy defenses, and readying planetary shields. Humans had survived cataclysmic events before, and the lessons of those experiences had forged them into something stronger than the aliens could imagine. As the alien scouts entered deeper into the forbidden region, they began to notice strange phenomena. Gravity seemed to shift slightly, sending small war machines veering off course. Electromagnetic interference caused weapon systems to flicker and misfire. Shadows moved across the void, as if the region itself were alive, observing them. Unseen drones darted between the alien warships, transmitting their every action back to Earth. Panic began to ripple through the lower ranks, though Varkan's stoic command masked it. Captain Trent observed the data feed, calculating strike possibilities and defensive patterns. They think they control the battlefield, he muttered. But the battlefield controls them. Every move they make, every mistake, every miscalculation is their undoing. Humans are ready, and when the time comes, we will show them what it means to underestimate us. Suddenly, the first signs of direct engagement appeared. Alien scouts fired probing weapons into empty space, testing defenses, but they were met with unexpected responses. Hidden energy fields disrupted their targeting systems, and cloaked platforms moved silently to intercept. For the first time, the aliens realized their confidence might have been misplaced. Dr. Solano monitored a particularly massive alien warship as it veered slightly off course. They are beginning to see anomalies, she said, but they still don't understand. This is not just physics. This is human strategy. They will learn, but by then, it may already be too late. Lieutenant Voss smiled grimly. Let them come, she said. Let them realize the price of arrogance. Every fleet, every warship, every alien who dared enter the forbidden region will soon understand the human spirit. We endure, we adapt, and we strike back with precision they cannot anticipate. As the alien fleets approached the inner boundary, the first skirmishes occurred. Small alien drones collided with hidden human interceptors, energy pulses clashed with plasma shields, and unobserved mines triggered chain reactions. Alien officers scrambled to understand the sudden failures, but the humans had planned for every contingency. Panic began to grow among the lower ranks of the alien scouts, while Commander Varkan's rage slowly replaced confidence. The forbidden region itself seemed alive. Massive gravitational anomalies slowed alien ships, shifting their trajectories into danger zones. Cloaked human warships struck and vanished before retaliation could occur. Electromagnetic storms, artificially induced, disrupted alien communications. Every moment brought new surprises to the intruders, exposing the overconfidence that had driven them into this domain. Captain Trent watched calmly from the command deck. This is just the beginning, he said. We have observed, we have prepared, and soon, the aliens will learn the hard way what it means to misjudge humans. Their arrogance brought them here. Their ruin will be the result of their own choices. Hours passed. The alien scouts struggled with strange spatial anomalies, misfiring weapons, and sudden losses of smaller craft. Every minor victory of the humans built confidence. Every surprise dismantled the illusion of alien superiority. Lieutenant Voss guided squads with unerring precision, coordinating attacks that destroyed drones, disabled shields, and caused confusion. Human ingenuity, combined with the perils of the forbidden region, turned overconfidence into vulnerability. By the end of the first cycle of engagement, the alien fleet was forced to halt. Their arrogance had met something they could not calculate, a combination of strategy, patience, and raw determination. Commander Varkan glared at the holographic projections of his losses, disbelief etching his features. "Impossible," he whispered. "Humans, how can they?" On Earth, Captain Trent allowed himself a small nod of satisfaction. The battle had begun, but more importantly, humans had gained the upper hand psychologically. They had proven that they could fight, adapt, and survive against an enemy that thought victory was assured. The Forbidden Region had tested them, and humans had passed with ingenuity, courage, and relentless spirit. The stage was set. Humanity had revealed the first signs of power hidden for centuries. The aliens had underestimated the humans, and that mistake would cost them more than they could ever imagine. The next phase of the confrontation would escalate beyond imagination, but for now, humans had taken the first step toward dominance. The galaxy, silently observing, would soon learn a harsh lesson. To underestimate humans is to invite ruin. To face humans in their own domain is to challenge courage, intelligence, and adaptability unlike any other. The Forbidden Region was no longer just a boundary, it was a warning. And humanity was ready. As the alien scouts crept deeper into the Forbidden Region, confident and unafraid, the humans remained unseen, watching every movement, analyzing every formation, and preparing to strike with precision. Earth's defenses were not merely weapons. They were intelligence, strategy, and centuries of hidden preparation converging into one unstoppable force. Every orbiting satellite, every cloaked ship, every underground bunker was part of a plan designed not for retaliation, but for survival and dominance. Captain Elias Trent stood in the command deck of the flagship Horizon, eyes scanning the data streams. His face was calm, but inside, a storm of tension brewed. Humanity had been waiting for this moment for decades. Not a single soldier, not a single weapon was unprepared. Every maneuver had been studied, every alien tactic anticipated, every risk calculated. The humans knew that the first strikes would define the battle, and they were ready. Lieutenant Kira Voss walked alongside him, reviewing fleet positions. Her expression was solemn yet resolute. "They think they control the battlefield," she said. "They see nothing. They know nothing. Every ship, every fleet, every weapon here has been hidden for this moment. And soon, they will regret underestimating us." Hidden orbital platforms shifted silently in their cloaked positions. Massive warships, invisible to alien sensors, positioned themselves at calculated angles. Plasma cannons, gravitational traps, and electromagnetic disruptors were all in place, calibrated to respond to any aggressive move by the intruders. Human engineers had worked in absolute secrecy for decades, perfecting systems that no alien intelligence could detect. Every mechanism had been designed with one goal: to turn overconfidence into catastrophe. Meanwhile, deep beneath Earth's surface, automated defense stations hummed with life. Tunnels carved into molten rock housed vast networks of missiles, energy weapons, and drones ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Artificial intelligence systems monitored every signal from the alien scouts, predicting their path and adjusting Earth's hidden responses in real time. Humanity was no longer just reacting. They were orchestrating a symphony of defense, precision, and subtle terror. In one underground command hub, Dr. Mira Solano oversaw the activation of a new defensive system, one that combined energy fields, automated drones, and adaptive targeting protocols. Her hands moved quickly across consoles, her mind racing through calculations. "They believe we are primitive," she muttered. "They have no idea how prepared we are. Every ship they lose, every system they cannot control, will teach them the cost of arrogance." Above Earth, the alien scouts continued to advance, their confidence unshaken. They fired warning shots into empty space, thinking they could intimidate any hidden humans. But their weapons hit nothing. Human-cloaked ships silently intercepted and redirected their attacks, leaving the aliens confused and unnerved. Electromagnetic pulses interfered with targeting systems, causing misfires and minor accidents. Every small loss or confusion further destabilized the alien formation, though the leaders struggled to maintain control. Captain Trent observed a massive alien cruiser approaching. "They're sending their largest ship ahead," he said, "but it will be the first to feel our defenses. Initiate Phase 1. Suddenly, invisible to alien eyes, the first wave of human defense systems activated. Cloaked drones swarmed, striking sensors, communications, and weapon systems. Gravitational traps shifted sections of space, slowing massive alien ships unexpectedly. Plasma barriers flashed to life, reflecting energy blasts and forcing alien formations into tighter clusters. Every step humans had taken to prepare for this moment was now paying off. Lieutenant Voss coordinated strikes from multiple positions. "Target the command units," she ordered. "Keep them in confusion. Make them doubt their calculations. Make them feel the cost of underestimating humans." On board the alien flagship, Commander Varkin's brow furrowed as systems began to fail unexpectedly. Communications dropped intermittently. Drones disappeared before he could intercept them. "What is happening?" he barked, frustration creeping into his tone. They were not supposed to do this. They were primitive. They were weak. And yet, everything is collapsing. In the orbital command deck, Captain Trent allowed himself a small, tight smile. "They still do not see us," he said. "They still do not understand that every move they make is predictable because we have watched them for years. Every failure they face is their own making, born of arrogance and ignorance. And soon they will learn. The hard way." Meanwhile, on the surface, automated systems and human strike teams coordinated silently. Missiles were launched along calculated trajectories, energy fields activated to deflect alien attacks, and predators trained for combat in Deathworld environments moved unseen in the shadows. Every strike was precise, every action intentional. Humanity was alive with purpose, courage, and unmatched intelligence. Dr. Solano monitored alien sensor feedback, noting each miscalculation and disrupted signal. "They will think we are reactive," she said, "but in reality we are in control. Every reaction they provoke is a trap. Every move they make because we allow it. Their overconfidence is their weakness." The alien scouts began to sense the first hints of resistance. Weapons misfired, fleets drifted into unexpected positions, and minor collisions occurred among their own ships. Panic and confusion spread silently among the lower ranks. Yet, the alien leaders struggled to understand the anomaly. They could not detect the hidden fleets. They could not predict the traps. They could not anticipate the human intellect that had orchestrated every move. Lieutenant Voss turned to her squad, her voice steady but charged with emotion. "Remember, we fight not just for survival, but for every life on Earth. Every maneuver, every strike, every action is part of our legacy. They think we are weak, but humanity endures. Humanity adapts. Humanity dominates." Captain Trent activated the next layer of defenses. Cloaked warships moved into offensive positions, ready to engage alien cruisers at optimal angles. Electromagnetic storms were artificially induced to disrupt alien targeting. Gravity fields subtly shifted, forcing massive warships into trajectories they could not correct. Every detail had been anticipated, every trap designed to maximize confusion and loss. The alien fleets began to falter. Small skirmishes erupted unexpectedly. Some alien drones were destroyed, some warships veered off course, and systems critical to their coordination failed. Commander Varkin's confidence, once unshakable, began to crumble. For the first time, he realized that humans were not merely surviving, they were controlling the battlefield itself. Back on Earth, Dr. Solano and her team watched the alien movements with tense excitement. "Every system is functioning as planned," she said. "They are stepping into the maze we built for them. Every miscalculation, every failure, every loss, it is the result of their arrogance. And yet, they will not understand until it is too late." Hours passed. The alien scouts struggled to maintain formation. Their overconfidence blinded them to the reality unfolding. Invisible drones tracked their every movement. Cloaked warships struck from angles impossible to detect. Gravitational distortions forced their massive ships into dangerous patterns. Electromagnetic pulses scrambled their systems intermittently. Humanity's hidden defenses were working flawlessly, a silent, invisible force orchestrating chaos from every corner of the forbidden region. Lieutenant Voss watched a massive alien cruiser struggle to correct its trajectory. "They think they can intimidate us with size and numbers," she said softly. "They do not understand courage, intelligence, or adaptation. And when they finally see what it truly means to face humans, it will be their ruin." Captain Trent took a deep breath, staring at the holographic display of alien fleets being subtly destroyed and misaligned. "This is only the beginning," he said. "We have shown them the first signs of our power, our preparation, and our will. They think Earth is weak. They think humanity is easy prey. They will learn the cost of overconfidence. They will learn that the forbidden region does not forgive arrogance. And we will endure as we always have." By the end of the cycle, the alien scouts had begun to retreat slightly, forced to reassess their strategy. Humanity's hidden defenses had turned their overconfidence into their greatest liability. Panic and confusion crept silently into alien minds, while humans celebrated silent victories, tending to small damages, recalibrating fleets, and preparing for the next wave of intruders. The stage was set for the confrontation that would decide not just survival but dominance. The galaxy watched silently. The forbidden region had already spoken. It whispered to every observing species a single message: do not underestimate humans. To challenge them is to invite ruin. To face them unprepared is to court annihilation. And deep within Earth's secret command centers, humans waited, ready for the next move, ready to defend, ready to triumph. The void of space trembled as the alien scouts, confident and unshaken, finally entered the inner boundaries of the forbidden region. Their warships gleamed coldly under distant starlight, each hull a testament to centuries of alien engineering, each weapon a declaration of their arrogance. They believed that what lay before them was nothing but primitive human defenses, easy prey for their overwhelming might. But humanity had prepared not just weapons, but strategy, patience, and cunning. On the bridge of the flagship Horizon, Captain Elias Trent leaned over the holographic display of alien formations. His face was calm, but his mind raced with calculation. Every fleet, every ship, every alien maneuver had been anticipated. "This is it," he said softly. "The moment they realize that the humans they mocked are not only waiting, but ready. Every strike, every trap, every move we make will prove their arrogance fatal." Lieutenant Kira Voss watched from her station, eyes scanning every signal, every blip, every anomaly. "They have no idea," she murmured. "Every path they choose, every attack they plan, it all leads them into our grasp. Every overconfident move brings them closer to ruin." Her voice trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. Humanity's first strike would define the course of this war. Suddenly, the first alien scouts fired. Their weapons cut across the void in blazing trails, attempting to break Earth's outer cloaked platforms. But the humans had prepared for this. Cloaked interceptor drones darted silently, redirecting energy blasts, confusing targeting systems, and intercepting the alien lasers with precise countermeasures. Massive gravitational traps subtly shifted the alien ships, forcing some to drift slightly off course. Confusion rippled silently through alien ranks. On board a smaller alien cruiser, the crew panicked as weapons misfired and systems flickered unexpectedly. Commander Varkin's voice cut through the chaos, calm but stern. "Do not allow the humans to surprise you. Continue the attack. Adjust formation. They are primitive, they cannot harm us. They are nothing." Yet in the corners of his mind, doubt began to creep. The humans were not passive. They were everywhere, invisible, lethal, and unrelenting. Back on Earth, hidden orbital platforms coordinated with precision. Plasma barriers flared to life, deflecting energy blasts. Cloaked warships moved into offensive positions, striking alien drones before they could relay information back to the main fleet. Automated systems deployed micromissiles with pinpoint accuracy, targeting engines, weapons arrays, and critical sensors. Every alien strike was met with a calculated counter. Every attempt at dominance was neutralized. Lieutenant Voss gritted her teeth as she watched the alien cruiser struggle to maintain trajectory. "They still think they control the battle," she whispered. "But we are the ones shaping it. Every loss they suffer is a lesson they will not survive to teach." The first skirmish escalated quickly. Cloaked human fighters emerged from hidden ambush points, striking alien drones and small warships in precise coordination. Explosions flared silently as energy pulses collided with shields, detonating microreactors on alien vessels. The void became a theater of destruction, though the humans remained unseen, each attack a whisper of chaos. Captain Trent activated the next phase. "Prepare orbital cannons," he said. "Target their command nodes. Disrupt their coordination. Make them doubt every order they issue." From the hidden positions, massive cannons powered up, glowing with concentrated energy, their aim precise and unerring. As they fired, alien warships faltered, their shields overwhelmed, their formations shattered. On board the alien flagship, panic spread like wildfire. Commander Varkin's officers shouted orders, attempting to regain control, but the humans had anticipated every maneuver. Energy fields shifted alien ships into dangerous positions, plasma blasts misfired under interference, and drones meant for reconnaissance were destroyed before they could relay intelligence. Confusion and fear crept silently, unrecognized by the arrogant commander. Deep within Deathworld-trained strike teams, human soldiers prepared for engagement. They had been deployed to strategic positions, ready to intercept any alien landing parties. Adaptive armor, enhanced sensors, and synchronized combat tactics allowed them to move with unmatched precision. Every skirmish, every collision, every minor victory added to the growing psychological edge over the invaders. Humans were not only defending, they were asserting dominance. In the midst of battle, Lieutenant Voss led a squadron of elite pilots. "Target their rear fleets," she commanded. "They are exposed. Hit them now." Cloaked fighters dived silently, lasers cutting through alien shields, engines failing under precise strikes. Alien warships collided with micromissiles and gravity traps, and even the smaller drones were destroyed. The humans' knowledge of the forbidden region, combined with their strategy and courage, transformed the alien advance into disarray. Commander Varkin's calm demeanor began to crack. How is this possible?" he demanded. "They are primitives. Their technology is inferior. And yet, every move they make is calculated. Every attack, anticipated." His words echoed through the command bridge, filled with disbelief and growing dread. Meanwhile, Captain Trent allowed a moment of grim satisfaction. "This is why we prepared," he said. "They thought size, numbers, and firepower would guarantee victory. But courage, intelligence, and adaptation always prevail. Humanity survives and thrives, even in the face of overwhelming odds." Hours passed. The alien fleets struggled to regroup. Their formations were broken. Communication systems flickered intermittently. Command units attempted to coordinate, but the humans had anticipated every contingency. Small, hidden drones tracked alien movements, reporting every misstep back to Earth's command centers. Each lost ship, each failed maneuver, each sudden failure chipped away at the confidence of the intruders. Back on Earth, engineers recalibrated systems, readjusted traps, and coordinated with orbital platforms to maintain maximum pressure. Every success of human forces, every alien failure, strengthened morale across Earth. Soldiers, pilots, scientists, and even civilians watched silently, aware that the first clash had revealed the truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Lieutenant Voss surveyed the battlefield from the bridge. "They thought this would be easy," she whispered. "They thought humans would panic. They thought they could intimidate us. But every step, every failure, every lost ship, it proves that arrogance has a price. They will learn it, and they will pay for it." As the first full-scale engagement ended, alien fleets pulled back, forced to reconsider their strategy. The humans had not only defended, they had shown strength, intelligence, and lethal precision. Every overconfident move of the aliens had been anticipated. Every action turned against them. The first clash had concluded, but its implications were profound. Humanity was not weak, and the forbidden region was a trap no intruder could survive unprepared. Captain Trent allowed himself a measured smile. "This is only the beginning," he said. "They have seen our power, but they have not yet seen our limits. Humanity endures, humans adapt, and the forbidden region, it punishes arrogance." The galaxy watched silently as the first clash unfolded. Aliens underestimated humans. Humans had survived, adapted, and struck back with precision. And the stage was now set for the next escalation, where strategy, courage, and ingenuity would decide the fate of all who dared enter the forbidden region. Humanity had won the first battle, not just by strength, but by intellect, bravery, and unshakable spirit. The warning was clear for all. To underestimate humans is to invite ruin. To face them in their own domain is to challenge survival itself. And humanity had only begun to fight. The void of space was no longer silent. Where once the alien fleets moved with arrogance and calculated dominance, now confusion, fear, and hesitation had begun to spread through their ranks. The first clash had shattered not only their formations but also their confidence. Human ingenuity, patience, and preparation had turned the tide in ways the aliens could not have predicted. The forbidden region, Earth's most secretive and dangerous defense boundary, had revealed its full potential, and humanity had wielded it masterfully. Captain Elias Trent stood on the command deck of the flagship Horizon, eyes fixed on the holographic display of alien fleets retreating slightly. The first skirmish had ended, but he knew the war was far from over. The humans had won a tactical victory, but the next phase would require even greater courage, precision, and sacrifice. "They think they can regroup," he said quietly, "but we will ensure that every decision they make is a mistake. Every step they take brings them closer to ruin." Lieutenant Kira Voss moved through the command deck, coordinating remaining strike units and cloaked interceptors. Her heart beat faster with tension and anticipation. "This is the moment," she whispered to herself. "They are confused, vulnerable, and overconfident. One wrong move and their fleet will crumble completely. But we cannot rush, we must be precise. Humanity survives because we think, we adapt, and we endure. Every strike must count." Across the forbidden region, Earth's hidden defenses activated in layers. Cloaked warships repositioned to strategic vantage points, ready to intercept alien counterattacks. Electromagnetic traps disrupted communications between alien command ships and smaller vessels. Gravitational distortions forced the alien fleets into erratic paths, while automated drones silently attacked vulnerable engines and weapons arrays. Every hidden system, every long-planned contingency, came alive as if the humans had orchestrated a symphony of chaos. Below the command deck, engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, monitoring energy outputs, adjusting targeting protocols, and ensuring that every defense was fully synchronized. Dr. Mira Solano's hands moved with practiced precision over the control panels, eyes scanning multiple streams of incoming alien data. "They still do not understand," she said softly, almost to herself. "They still do not see that every movement, every decision, every weapon misfire is because of us. Their arrogance is their undoing, and our preparation will ensure it." The alien commander, Varkon, watched the projections of his fleet with disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. "We are superior in numbers, in firepower, in technology. Yet, they anticipate every strike. Every move we make is countered. How can primitives think and adapt like this?" His officers shifted uneasily, the first real doubt creeping into their minds. The pride and overconfidence that had carried them this far began to crumble. Suddenly, a new phase of human offense began. Hidden orbital platforms, long cloaked, moved into firing positions. Micromissiles, energy pulses, and gravity-shifting arrays struck simultaneously at the alien rear and flank units. The impact was precise, devastating, and silent. Alien drones were destroyed before they could relay information. Engines overloaded under targeted assaults, and several warships veered uncontrollably into gravitational anomalies. Confusion spread rapidly through the alien formations. Lieutenant Voss's voice cut through the comms. All units, converge on the exposed cruisers. Focus fire on engines, weapons arrays, and command nodes. Keep them off balance. Do not let them recover. Show them what it means to face humans in their own domain. Cloaked fighters darted between the alien ships, striking relentlessly, disappearing before retaliation could occur. On board the alien flagship, Varkin's frustration turned into panic. Orders were shouted, but the response was fragmented. Systems failed in ways no engineer had predicted. Smaller cruisers collided, energy cannons misfired, and communication links were severed. The humans had turned every prediction into a trap, every expectation into a weapon. They are everywhere, Varkan muttered, his confidence dissolving. This was supposed to be simple. They were supposed to be weak, and yet they dominate. Back on Earth, Captain Trent allowed himself a brief nod. This is the power of preparation, he said, of patience, of understanding your enemy and knowing the terrain better than they ever could. This is why humans endure. This is why we survive. This is why arrogance will always be punished. The tide continued to turn. Alien fleets attempted desperate counterattacks, firing weapons in chaotic patterns, trying to regroup and regain control. But the humans anticipated these moves. Cloaked platforms intercepted projectiles, gravitational fields disrupted maneuvers, and hidden drones attacked critical nodes. The more the aliens struggled, the more their formations collapsed. Every overconfident strike became a liability, every miscalculation a potential disaster. In the midst of the chaos, Lieutenant Voss directed a small strike squad to target a critical alien command cruiser. The human fighters approached silently, exploiting gaps in the alien formation. Lasers struck weapons arrays, engines faltered, and shields flickered before the cruiser could respond. Panic spread through the alien ranks like wildfire. The humans had demonstrated not only skill but strategic superiority. Deep within the forbidden region, hidden human crews and strike teams observed the unfolding battle. They were not merely fighting, they were shaping the battlefield. Every misstep by the alien fleets, every overconfident maneuver, every loss was part of a larger plan. The humans' patience, intelligence, and courage had created a turning tide. What began as an invasion had become a battle for survival and dominance, but humanity controlled the flow. Dr. Solano monitored the alien response, her hands steady over the controls. They still do not understand, she said. Every strike we make, every trap we set, every hidden ship they cannot see. It is a lesson in underestimating humanity. They will learn, they will pay, and they will never enter our space again without consequence. Captain Trent addressed the fleet, his voice calm but filled with authority. The first clash has shown our strength. The second strike will show our dominance. We are not just defending Earth, we are demonstrating that humans adapt, endure, and conquer. The tide has turned, and the enemy will feel it in ways they cannot anticipate. The alien commanders, now desperate and unsure, attempted to retreat, to regroup, to salvage what they could of their pride and their fleets. But humanity's hidden defenses allowed no easy escape. Gravitational anomalies slowed their ships, electromagnetic pulses disrupted navigation, and cloaked interceptors shadowed every movement. The first phase of human superiority had shifted the balance entirely. Even from distant observation posts, alien species watching the conflict began to murmur in shock. Humans were not weak. Humans were not disorganized. Humans were intelligent, adaptable, and unyielding. They had not only survived the initial invasion, they had dominated the battlefield, turned arrogance into vulnerability, and forced the invaders into retreat. Lieutenant Voss allowed herself a brief, quiet smile. They think this is only a battle, she said softly. But they do not know. This is a war they cannot win. This is humanity at its best. And they will learn it the hard way. Captain Trent's eyes scanned the void, reflecting distant starlight. The tide has turned, yes, he said. But the battle is far from over. They will strike again, they will regroup, and they will challenge us. But we are ready. They cannot anticipate our strategy, our courage, or our resolve. They cannot predict the human spirit. And the Forbidden Region will remind them of that. As the alien fleets drifted reluctantly into recalculated positions, the humans watched silently, prepared for the next phase. The first clash had revealed the beginning of human dominance, but the turning tide promised more. Patience, strategy, and relentless ingenuity would define the war ahead. Humanity had proven one undeniable truth to the galaxy. To face humans in their own domain is to challenge survival itself, and the cost of arrogance is absolute ruin. The moment the alien fleets tried to stabilize their broken formations, humanity moved. This was not a reaction born from panic or anger. This was a counterattack planned years in advance, designed in silence, tested in shadows, and perfected through patience. The turning tide of the battle had reached its critical point. Now, humans would strike back, not blindly but with terrifying precision. Captain Elias Trent stood tall on the bridge of the horizon, his hands resting calmly behind his back. His eyes were fixed on the holographic battlefield where alien ships flickered in unstable formations. "They are trying to recover," he said quietly. "That means they are afraid. And fear makes enemies predictable. Begin Phase 3. Humanity takes the offensive." Across the Forbidden Region, dormant systems awakened. Cloaked human fleets that had never fired a single shot now shifted into attack vectors. Massive warships, invisible just moments ago, slowly revealed themselves, not fully, just enough to confuse alien sensors. The illusion of human weakness shattered completely. The counterattack had begun. Lieutenant Kira Voss felt her pulse quicken as the order echoed through every channel. She had trained for this moment her entire life. "All strike units, move now," she commanded. "Hit hard. Hit fast. Do not give them time to think. This is where we break them." Her voice was steady, but behind it burned raw emotion. Anger for every threat to Earth, pride in humanity's survival, and resolve forged by sacrifice. The first wave struck without warning. Long-range kinetic weapons punched through space, bypassing shields that alien engineers believed were invincible. Entire alien cruisers shuddered as their cores destabilized. Engines failed. Weapons shut down. Ships drifted helplessly as human strike craft swarmed them like predators sensing wounded prey. On the alien flagship, Commander Varkon slammed his fist against the command console. "This is not possible," he roared. "They were not supposed to counterattack. They were supposed to hide, to beg, to collapse." But the truth was undeniable. Humans were no longer defending. Humans were hunting. Human fleets moved with brutal coordination. Every ship knew its role. Every pilot trusted the plan. Artificial intelligence guided fire solutions in real time, adapting instantly to alien maneuvers. Gravity traps collapsed escape routes. Electromagnetic pulses shut down entire squadrons. The aliens fired back wildly, but their shots were unfocused, desperate, and increasingly ineffective. On one battlefield sector, Lieutenant Voss led a direct assault on a heavily armed alien carrier. Her fighters slipped through defensive fire, using debris and distortion fields as cover. "Target the core," she ordered. No mercy. A synchronized volley struck the carrier's heart. The explosion lit the void like a dying star. Silence followed. For the first time, alien crews felt true terror. Their systems told them they were outmatched. Their instincts screamed retreat. But the Forbidden Region allowed no easy escape. Every direction was dangerous. Every path led into another human trap. Back on Earth, Dr. Mira Solano watched the counterattack unfold, tears forming in her eyes. "They're doing it," she whispered. "After all the years of preparation, humanity is not just surviving. We are proving we belong among the stars." Around her, engineers worked silently, knowing history was being written in real time. Captain Trent addressed the fleet again. "Remember this moment," he said. "Not because of victory, but because of why we fight. We fight for Earth, for our people, for every generation that came before us and every one that will come after. Do not hesitate. Do not falter." The alien formations collapsed rapidly. Command ships were isolated and destroyed. Supply vessels exploded under precise strikes. Smaller alien craft attempted to flee, only to be intercepted by cloaked human interceptors. The counterattack was relentless. Humans did not rush. They advanced with cold, disciplined fury. Commander Varkon watched his empire's power unravel. "They warned us," he muttered, voice hollow. "They warned us to stay away." His overconfidence had led them here. Now his armada was dying around him. As the final wave of the counterattack surged forward, the message became clear, not just to the invaders but to the watching galaxy. Humanity was no longer a species to be ignored, underestimated, or threatened. Humans were strategists, survivors, warriors. The void burned with the wreckage of alien pride. And at the heart of it all, humanity stood unbroken, united, and advancing. The counterattack was not the end of the war, but it was the moment everything changed. The moment fear shifted sides. The moment arrogance met consequence. And the galaxy would remember it forever. The alien armadas were breaking. What once moved with arrogant order now drifted in panic and confusion. Warnings flashed across damaged command bridges. Engines failed. Communication lines collapsed. For the first time in their long history of conquest, the invaders faced something they had never prepared for: defeat at the hands of a species they believed was weak. Admiral Kael'Run stared at the burning void around his flagship. His fleet, once the pride of the Dominion, was now scattered wreckage. "They are not retreating," he said slowly, his voice heavy with disbelief. "They are advancing." The truth cut deeper than any weapon. Humans were not afraid. Humans were pushing forward without hesitation. Fear spread through alien ranks like a living disease. Officers shouted conflicting orders. Some demanded a full retreat. Others begged for permission to use forbidden weapons sealed by ancient laws. Desperation stripped away discipline. Pride collapsed into raw survival instinct. On the human side, Captain Elias Trent watched the chaos with cold focus. He knew this phase well. "They're cornered," he said. "And cornered enemies do dangerous things. All fleets, tighten formation. Prepare for extreme responses." His words carried calm authority, but beneath them lay heavy understanding. This was the most dangerous moment of any war. Alien commanders made their choice. Ancient protocols were broken. Massive energy signatures flared as the invaders powered weapons designed to destroy entire regions of space. These were weapons never meant to be used near inhabited systems. They did not care anymore. If they could not win, they would burn everything, including themselves. Lieutenant Kira Voss felt her breath catch as sensors screamed warnings. "They're charging Starbreaker cores," she said. "If those fire, Earth's outer colonies will be wiped out." Her hands trembled for just a second before she forced them steady. Fear was real, but surrender was not an option. Human command reacted instantly. Defensive grids expanded. Shield harmonics shifted. Fleets repositioned with machine-perfect timing. This was not panic. This was controlled fury. Humanity had prepared for this exact moment. The moment when the enemy chose destruction over defeat. In the alien flagship, Admiral Kael'Run watched his officers argue, plead, and break. His species had conquered hundreds of worlds by force and fear. But humans had survived a harsher truth, their own planet. Disaster, loss, extinction threats, and endless conflict had shaped them into something terrifyingly adaptable. "They endure," Kael'Run whispered. "That is their strength." As the forbidden weapons reached critical charge, human strike teams launched deep into enemy territory. These were not massive fleets, but small, precise units. Pilots volunteered without hesitation. Many knew they might not return. None hesitated. One pilot, Commander Rhea Lawson, spoke calmly into the comms. "If this ends today, let it end with us standing between Earth and extinction." Her words carried no fear, only resolve. Human teams slipped through collapsing defenses, weaving between explosions and debris. They targeted energy cores, command nodes, and power conduits. One by one, alien superweapons failed. Some detonated prematurely, consuming their own ships. Others shut down seconds before firing. Alien crews screamed as their last hope turned into their final mistake. Their desperation had exposed their weakness. Humans exploited it without mercy. On Earth, billions watched the feeds in silence. Parents held children close. Soldiers stood at attention. Humanity felt fear but also unity. Every human understood what was at stake. This was not just a battle in space. This was survival. Admiral Kael'Run felt the final blow approaching. His voice broke as he issued the last order. Withdraw, if any of you can. But escape routes were gone. Human fleets closed in from every direction, methodical and unstoppable. Captain Trent gave the final command of the phase. Neutralize remaining hostile forces. No pursuit beyond the line. Let the galaxy see what desperation brings. The void fell silent except for drifting wreckage. The enemy's final gamble had failed. Their power was shattered. Their arrogance reduced to ash. But humanity did not celebrate. They understood the cost. They honored the fallen. They prepared for what came next, because they knew this war was not yet over. The enemy had shown their true face in desperation. And in doing so, they had revealed why they could never defeat humanity. Because humans did not fight to dominate. They fought to protect. And that made all the difference. Silence spread across the battlefield like a heavy shadow. Where explosions once burned bright, only drifting wreckage remained. Broken alien ships floated beside damaged human vessels. Victory had been achieved, but it did not feel like triumph. Felt heavy. Felt painful. Human fleets slowed their advance. Weapons powered down. Medics and rescue teams launched immediately, ignoring danger, rushing toward damaged ships and escape pods. No one cheered. No one celebrated. Every human knew that winning a war always demanded a price. Captain Elias Trent stood on the command deck, eyes fixed on the ruined Stars Cape. His hands trembled slightly as casualty reports appeared one by one. Ships lost, crews missing, pilots who never returned. He closed his eyes for a moment, not in weakness, but in respect. These names were not numbers. They were people. Across the fleet, families on Earth watched the aftermath in painful silence. Mothers waited for calls that would never come. Children stared at screens, hoping to see familiar faces among the survivors. The joy of survival mixed with deep grief. Humanity had defended its home, but the scars were real. Lieutenant Kira Voss helped pull survivors from a shattered cruiser. One soldier clutched her arm, eyes filled with fear and relief. Did we win? He asked. She nodded slowly. Yes, you did your part. Tears filled his eyes as he was carried away. Victory had cost him everything he had left. In the alien sector, survivors fled in broken formations. They carried stories of human resolve that would haunt their civilizations for generations. They had expected conquest. Instead, they witnessed sacrifice beyond logic. Humans did not retreat when afraid. They stood firmer. They fought harder. Back on Earth, leaders addressed the planet. There were no speeches of pride, only truth. We are safe today, the speaker said, because ordinary people chose to stand against extinction. The words echoed across cities, colonies, and stations. Memorial lights ignited across Earth's skies. One by one, bright beams rose upward, each representing a lost life. The planet glowed like a silent promise. Humanity remembered. Humanity honored. Captain Trent walked through the medical bay. Injured soldiers looked up as he passed. Some smiled weakly. Some saluted. He stopped beside a young pilot who had lost her wingmate. She stared at the ceiling, eyes empty. I should have saved him, she whispered. Trent placed a hand on her shoulder. You saved everyone else. The weight of command pressed heavy on every leader. They questioned every order, every decision. Could something have been done differently? Could fewer lives have been lost? These questions had no answers, only resolve. In the alien councils, fear replaced arrogance. Reports confirmed what their fleets could not deny. Humanity was not just dangerous in battle. They were dangerous because they cared. They mourned their dead, and that grief sharpened their strength instead of weakening it. As fleets regrouped, humans began rebuilding immediately. Damaged ships were repaired. Defense networks strengthened. Research accelerated. Humanity understood one truth clearly: this victory would not be the last challenge. The galaxy had noticed them now. Captain Trent addressed the fleet one final time. "We did not fight for glory," he said. "We fought so Earth could see another sunrise. Remember those we lost. Carry them with you, because they are the reason we stand here today." The fleets responded with a single unified signal. Not a cheer, not a shout, a silent acknowledgement of shared loss and shared purpose. Far beyond known space, ancient observers watched. They felt something shift. Humanity had crossed a line, from survival to significance. Victory had been won, but it had been paid for in blood, tears, and courage. And the galaxy would never forget the cost humanity was willing to bear to protect its home. The war around Earth's forbidden region ended, but the echo of it traveled far beyond human space. Broken alien fleets limped back toward their home systems, carrying more than damage, they carried fear. Every surviving ship transmitted the same warning, again and again, in shaken voices and fragmented data. Humans were no longer a rumor. They were no longer underestimated. They were a force that had rewritten the rules of survival. Across the galaxy, ancient empires paused their expansions. Merchant routes rerouted. Exploration fleets halted at the borders of human-marked space. Star charts were updated with a single glowing marker: Earth region. Do not engage. In distant alien councils, leaders argued in panic. Some demanded immediate retaliation. Others demanded silence and retreat. Holograms displayed recordings of human tactics. Ships that fought even while burning, soldiers who protected civilians before themselves, commanders who sacrificed entire fleets just to buy time. No race understood this behavior. It was illogical. It was terrifying. One elder species, older than most stars, spoke softly in their chambers. "These humans fight like a death world should," they said. "But they think like guardians." That sentence alone changed centuries of policy. On Earth, humanity did not celebrate its rising reputation. The planet mourned quietly, even as defenses expanded. Shipyards worked day and night. New pilots trained beside veterans who carried invisible scars. Humanity did not prepare for glory, they prepared for survival. Children watched the skies at night, seeing more patrol lights than stars. Parents held them closer. Teachers changed lessons, explaining the galaxy honestly now. Humans were not alone, and they were no longer ignored. Captain Trent stood before a combined human council: military leaders, scientists, civilian voices. Reports confirmed something strange. Alien signals were no longer aggressive. They were cautious, curious. Some even carried respect. A few carried fear. "Earth has become a line," one analyst said. "Cross it, and you face consequences." But with attention came danger. Hidden observers watched from dark space. Not all feared humanity. Some saw opportunity. Some saw challenge. And some saw a threat that must be erased before it grew stronger. Far away, a silent fleet awakened. Ancient, massive, patient. They had watched countless species rise and fall. Humanity's story interested them deeply. Not because humans won a battle, but because they refused to break. On a frontier station, a human scout picked up an unknown signal. It wasn't hostile. It wasn't friendly. It simply watched. The silence behind it felt heavier than any weapon. Back on Earth, Captain Trent addressed his crew once more. "The galaxy knows our name now," he said. "That means our choices matter more than ever. We show them who we are, not with words, but with how we stand when tested." The crew listened, silent and focused. Fear was present, but it did not rule them. Determination did. Alien historians began rewriting records. The phrase "deathworld species" gained a new definition. Humans were not just survivors of harsh worlds. They were protectors shaped by suffering, fighters forged by loss. In secret archives, one final note was added beneath Earth's designation: Engage only if extinction is your goal. As the stars turned, humanity stood at a crossroads. Feared by some, watched by many, respected by few, but underestimated by none. The war for survival had ended. The era of attention had begun. And the galaxy would soon learn humanity did not seek dominance. But if forced to fight again, they would not hold back. The galaxy had learned to fear the edge of human space. Most civilizations obeyed the warnings and stayed away. But not all. In the deepest regions of dark space, there were beings who believed fear itself was a weakness. They watched humanity's rise and felt something dangerous growing inside them. Not caution, but challenge. They were known as the Varkan Collective, an ancient power built on conquest, silence, and absolute control. For them, domination was proof of existence. They did not care about losses. They did not respect sacrifice. They believed every species could be broken if enough force was applied. When reports of human resistance reached them, the Varkan did not retreat. They laughed. To them, humans were loud, emotional, and unstable. Traits they believed always led to collapse. The Varkan fleet moved without announcement. No warning, no signal. Thousands of ships slipped toward human space, hidden behind gravity shadows and artificial voids. Their goal was simple: strike fast, break morale, erase the legend of humanity before it grew too large. Earth's deep space sensors detected the first distortion far too late. Alarms screamed across command centers. The signatures were unlike anything recorded before. Silent, cold, precise. Captain Trent stood at the center of the command room as projections filled the air. His face hardened. "They didn't come to talk," he said quietly. "They came to end us." Across Earth and its colonies, emergency protocols activated. Civilians were moved underground. Defense platforms powered up. Fleets scrambled into formation. But something felt different this time. The enemy did not roar. They advanced in perfect silence. The first engagement happened near a forgotten star. Varkan ships cut through space with surgical strikes. Human vessels were hit before they could react. Hulls cracked. Lives were lost in seconds. For the first time since the Forbidden Region War, fear surged through human ranks. This enemy did not hesitate. They did not respond to warnings. They did not care who they killed. A young commander froze as his ship took heavy damage. His hands shook. Around him, alarms blared. Then a voice broke through the chaos. An older captain, calm and steady. "Breathe. Remember who you are. You're human." Those words spread through the fleet like fire. Humans adapted. They always did. New tactics formed in real time. Ships began moving unpredictably. Crews rerouted power manually. Soldiers fought fires with their own hands. The Varkan observed this shift with confusion. Human ships should have broken. Instead, they grew more aggressive, more creative, more dangerous. One human cruiser, badly damaged, charged directly into the heart of a Varkan formation. It detonated at point-blank range, taking dozens of enemy ships with it. The crew knew they would not survive. They did it anyway. That moment changed everything. The Varkan commanders felt something unfamiliar, unease. Humans did not fear death the way others did. They feared failure more. Captain Trent ordered a risky maneuver, a trap built on chaos. Human ships pretended to retreat, drawing the Varkan deeper into unstable space. Gravity waves collapsed. Sensors failed. The battlefield turned against the invaders. Human pilots fought with raw emotion. Every loss strengthened their resolve. Every sacrifice sharpened their focus. They were no longer defending territory, they were defending identity. Messages from Earth reached the front lines. Not commands. Messages from families. Simple words. "Come home. We believe in you. Protect each other." The Varkan began losing ships faster than expected. Their rigid strategies failed against human unpredictability. Control turned into confusion. Precision turned into hesitation. As the battle dragged on, the Varkan realized a terrifying truth. Humanity was not strong because of technology alone. They were strong because they fought together: emotion, logic, fear, hope, all unified. When the Varkan finally withdrew, it was not strategic. It was survival. Their fleet shattered, their confidence broken. Humanity had bled. Humanity had suffered. But they had not fallen. Captain Trent watched the enemy retreat into darkness. His voice was quiet. "They came to test us," he said. "Now they know." The galaxy listened. And for the first time, even the bravest empires wondered, if this is how humans fight when challenged, what would happen if they were truly pushed to the edge? The battle with the Varkan collective ended, but its shadow stayed. Wreckage drifted through space like silent memories. Human ships returned damaged but unbroken. The galaxy watched closely, waiting to see what humanity would do next. Would they chase revenge? Would they retreat into fear? Humanity chose something different. Across Earth and its colonies, leaders gathered. Military commanders stood beside scientists. Civilians were given a voice. This was not just a military decision. It was a human one. Lives had been lost. Blood had been spilled. The galaxy needed to understand one thing clearly: Earth would not be hunted again. Captain Trent addressed the council, his voice steady but heavy. "We cannot control fear in others," he said, "but we can control our response. Today we decide where we stand." A single message was prepared. Not a threat, not a plea, a boundary. Human transmitters activated across multiple systems. The signal was simple, translated into every known language. It carried no emotion, yet it carried all of humanity's pain and resolve. "This region is protected. Any hostile entry will be met with full force. We seek peace. We are prepared for war." The message echoed through the galaxy. Some alien worlds reacted with relief, others with anger, a few with deep concern. Never before had a young species spoken with such calm authority. Humanity was not shouting. They did not need to. Their actions had already spoken for them. Back at the front lines, human fleets repositioned. Defensive formations formed along key routes. New technology activated adaptive shields, living networks of ships that shared data instantly. Humanity did not boast. They prepared quietly. Captain Trent walked through the halls of his flagship, passing portraits of fallen crew. He stopped at each one. No words, only respect. This line was drawn with their lives. In distant alien councils, debates erupted. Some demanded testing the human boundary. Others warned against it. Recordings from the Varkan defeat were replayed again and again. Humans fought differently. They did not collapse under pressure. They adapted. They endured. A single alien envoy attempted contact. Nervous, careful. The message was short. "We acknowledge your boundary." It was the first time in galactic history that such words were spoken to a Deathworld species. On Earth, people watched the stars with mixed emotions. Fear remained, but pride grew stronger. Humanity was no longer hiding. They were standing. Captain Trent recorded a final message for his crew. "This line is not just space," he said. "It's who we are. We protect our own. We do not seek conquest, but we will not be erased." The fleet responded in silence, engines glowing softly like a wall of light against the dark. Far away, ancient watchers observed quietly. Humanity had done something rare. They had turned suffering into structure, loss into resolve, chaos into order. The galaxy adjusted. Trade routes shifted. Exploration plans changed. Human space became a fixed point, stable, dangerous, respected. The line was drawn, not with arrogance, not with hate, but with unity, memory, and unbreakable will. And everyone knew, if that line was crossed, humanity would answer. The galaxy grew quiet after the line was drawn. Not the silence of peace, but the silence of understanding. Every major power paused. Every ancient empire reconsidered. Humanity had not shouted its strength. It had proven it. Earth did not rush forward. It did not chase enemies into the dark. Instead, humanity turned inward to heal, to remember, to build. Shipyards became places of creation, not desperation. Memorials were raised beside launch bays. reminding every pilot why they flew. Captain Elias Trent stood on a balcony overlooking Earth. The planet glowed softly beneath layers of defense lights. He remembered the early days when humans were ignored, mocked, dismissed as fragile. That version of humanity was gone. Not because they wanted power, but because survival demanded growth. Across human space, something rare happened. Unity. Nations that once argued now cooperated. Scientists shared discoveries openly. Soldiers trained not just to fight, but to protect. Humanity had learned a hard truth. Division nearly ended them once. It would never be allowed again. Alien envoys arrived slowly, carefully. Some came with fear, some with curiosity. A few came with respect. They spoke of treaties, borders, shared knowledge. Humanity listened, not as conquerors, not as victims, as equals. In distant alien academies, new lessons were taught. Do not measure strength only in weapons, instructors warned. Measure it in will. Measure it in sacrifice. Humans became a case study not of aggression but of resilience. Children on Earth grew up hearing stories of the Forbidden Region War, the silent fleets, the line humanity drew. These were not told to inspire hatred, but courage. They learned that fear is natural, but surrender is a choice. Captain Trent's final address was broadcast years later, on the anniversary of the war's end. His hair was gray now, his voice softer, but his words carried weight. We were tested, he said, not because we were special, but because we refused to give up. That is what defines us. Beyond known space, the ancient watchers finally recorded their verdict. Humanity was no longer classified as a death world species alone. A new term was added, guardians of balance. Humanity expanded carefully, not to dominate but to protect. They stood between weaker worlds and greater threats. They remembered what it felt like to be alone. The galaxy changed not overnight, but forever. Fear slowly turned into trust. Conflict gave way to caution. Humanity became a constant, unmovable, reliable, dangerous only when pushed. Captain Trent looked once more at the stars before retiring. He felt pride, but also humility. The future was never guaranteed. It had to be earned again and again. And somewhere in the vast dark, potential enemies watched Earth and chose a different path. Not because humans were unstoppable, but because they were unbreakable. Humanity did not claim the galaxy. They claimed their future, through loss, through courage, through standing firm when the universe expected them to fall. And the stars remembered them for it.